We're ORPHEUS OMEGA, and you can catch us on our Embers of Tragedie, Emberglow album launch tour cycle this November.
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for joining us. We got the whole band with us tonight.
Sure do.
That's right.
A rare occurrence.
You're violated over here. Now, as you say, ORPHEUS OMEGA are off on a short run of dates with Carmeria in November, starting in Melbourne on the 16th. Then you hit Sydney and Canberra and finish in Ballarat on November the 29th. So what sorts of mischief are you guys planning to get up to?
Lots of food. I've challenged Carmeria to a food competition. Hopefully we can make that work on one of the nights.
Yes, it's happening.
A fight in a sandpit is one of them, I believe. That's happening.
Fight in a sandpit. That'll be fun.
Let's go. Some mischief, absolutely.
Those guys are so boring compared to you. I just interviewed them and they didn't mention a word about any of that.
To be in their defense, they might not know about it yet.
I'll make sure.
They think they're going to play music.
Yeah, they don't. The thing is, and this is why we're like so excited to tour with them. They don't know what they're getting into. So it's like, oh, we're looking forward to tour, and I'm like, we'll see at the end of it.
Lovely guys, but they're taking it a little bit more seriously than what you are, I think.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think you can have the Gothic facade and not come across seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What?
I feel like that would like drop the veil musically if they were like, yeah, no, you can't. It'll crack the white face paint. It says you don't do it.
Now, both bands are celebrating recent albums, with yourself releasing Emberglow in July and Carmeria dropping Tragedie d'Amour in August. So which one is a better album?
I mean,
You have to answer this.
I feel like that's what the sandpit is for.
Yeah. Everyone gets to choose green to stand and put like the vote in. I mean,
I really like their album, to be
Yeah,
honest. It's super catchy.
but it's also like I like that dark gothic thing, which is like so our album's dark and angry, and theirs is dark and creepy, and it's like it's like a really good marriage. So I don't know, like I feel like you could probably make a supergroup album of the two like best songs of each album and just like try to interweave them.
Very diplomatic.
Thank you. I'm getting ready for a running politics now, Joe.
Now, Emberglow was labelled as your most ambitious album yet when it came out. So do you still think that after it's had time to digest?
Yes. Leon?
Sorry, that's the question.
Emberglow is our most ambitious album. Now that it's out, do we still feel that way?
I definitely feel like it touches on like the most wider range of influences. Previously, we would have had like maybe 3 or 4 bands that would have influenced and shaped our maybe first 2 albums, but the later couple have just expanded and expanded, and we've also had some member changes, so that's brought new blood into the writing process. It just definitely feels like the most ambitious and the most audacious one yet. 100%.
I think it has more about, I would say, if anything, the biggest part of it is it has so much more about personalities in it instead of just our musical influences or like our musical styles. Everyone definitely like put a part of themselves into the album. So that made the writing process really fun because everyone was not just invested musically, but super emotionally as well. And I feel like we all, in a good way, lost a piece of ourselves in the album.
Yeah, I think portraits help with us personalizing it as well.
Contextualizing it as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Did the fans embrace your sonic vision the way you hoped they would?
Yeah,
I've been very surprised with the feedback of which songs are people's favorites.
I don't think I've gotten the same answer from different people ever.
Exactly,
I've always gone, this song and this song, or song 12 and song 5, or something like all these random, just different. Like no one has ever said like, this one particular song that's the best.
Song 12, there's a bonus track.
Don't talk about song 12.
I haven't told anyone about song 12 yet.
We called one of the songs Song 12.
It's actually track 6. Working title.
I know which band room I'm going to when you guys come to Brisbane for a drink.
100%.
He's not wrong.
You get to name the next song. That's how it works.
Song 13.
Awesome.
We write the album until someone passes out in drinks. Like, 20 drinks in, 20 songs, let's go.
That's a different way to do it. On the album, like in a nutshell, You kept loyal to your melodic death metal roots, but you also experimented with some progressive metal. There's metalcore, doom metal, splashes of other genres. So, which one was the most fun to do and experiment with?
Well, Matt, why are you pointing at me?
I pointed at Leon because I think he probably brought a lot of that influence in.
The
I feel
proggy
like
stuff.
yeah.
What did I do?
Leon just wrote much more on this one. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Quite a few of them in the end.
I think it's like Leon brought the puppy dog energy with the writing because Leon was just like, I'm excited, here's riffs. And we were like, that is an exciting riff. Now we have a basis of things. So like even the songs that like maybe were more built by the rest of us, the ones that Leon brought in, definitely have his signature on top of them.
Fun and genty.
Yeah. I do like my prog metal and my metalcore, and I'm like, hey, you guys I love you guys, but we need to do this.
What if we wrote a 7-minute song?
It's not need to channel again.
What if we wrote a real jaunty boy?
Previously, we've written albums under the pretense that it's been a melodic death metal album. With this record, we're far more open to whatever the end result may be, as long as it's a cohesive package and story, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think Portraits was a good example of that as well. Like it was very much like, look, this is just what we're writing. I think after Emberglow now being out and knowing everyone's different favorite songs is probably a good example of like what we're capable of because of the fact that all the branches we did on this album were received well. We didn't feel like we failed in branching out in the things that we were trying. It's been nice to see that it feels like it's actually been a success and we didn't just like, we really like the Melodic Death ones, but the other ones suck. It hasn't been like that. So it's reassuring and just comforting to know that the stuff we branched out in and tried seems to have worked.
Yeah.
So given that you were a little outside your comfort zone with that and you were experimenting to a degree, like how hard was it to get the balance right with those genres when you were just sort of learning them yourselves?
I feel like we kept replaying and kept working, and we probably did the most amount of pre-pro I have ever seen done on any piece of art I've ever worked on ever.
Yeah,
and I think that's what really did it. We brought in all of these different styles, influences, everything, and as we continued to work on it pre-pro and hone in on those sounds, we kept playing them all back to back, and we're like, all right, they're all starting to gel and form together.
Yep.
So that, and also continuous like group collaborative effort. So I'd have a say on something, but so did everyone else, and everyone's shaping made it an ORPHEUS album. And anyone who's working on music out there, writing is one thing. Pre-pro is where the magic happens.
Yeah, and big massive props to Plek for that. Our producer in Sweden. We spent 6 days, 6-hour sessions or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Basically, everyone lived at my house for a week.
Yeah,
and we did all of the pre-pro like via Zoom
between like 6 p.m. and midnight.
I think
every night.
It worked out to I think 312 man hours in that week or something like that.
Yeah. Stupid, but definitely worth it.
Oh yeah,
that's where all that cohesive shaping took place. So that's why the whole thing sounds cohesive with so much going on.
Yeah, like given that there are so many different influences and like genres, so to speak, within the album, without that almost like group pottery class, it would have just been like there's a teapot and there's like a chair instead of like mugs and a teapot. You know, like that part of the process is like really
feng shui time.
Yeah. I love the moment where you were working on a particular song with Blake and I came around you like Patrick Swayze. It was beautiful.
Let me just get the guitar.
Stop. You'll see the Emberglow doco coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
Rated version or the G-rated?
There is an R smug in it. It's M-rated.
Now, back to the tour. Like you guys recently had a show at Broken Hill at the Mad Max compound. Tell us about that. It sounds like a lot of fun.
It was unreal. The road trip was amazing. Yeah, the grounds were beautiful as well. And our gear was thankfully still intact despite all the red dust.
It's still done.
Everything. Yes.
I had to wash everything that was on the merch stand at the end of the game.
Even the vinyls.
Yeah. It ruled. It was a wonderful experience. Really, everyone just got involved and was on board. Patrons all knew the MO.
They knew the assignment.
Yeah. And it was fun. It was really brutal, but it was really collaborative.
I think massive props to the Lead Heavy dudes, because it was just for a first time event, 2-night camping in the middle of nowhere. They ran it like absolute fucking seasoned pros, and it went so smooth, especially after like having our flights cancelled to Perth, and then being like, all right, the next gig's 9 hours away drive and blah blah blah. It was just
phenomenal,
so fun. Yeah. So I look forward to more of that festival as the years go. For sure.
Absolutely.
The press releases put a lot of pressure on you guys, mate, by saying that both yourselves and Carmeria have whipped up, and I quote, incredible new live shows. So define incredible, and how are you going to live up to that?
Do I pull out the mic?
Bring out the
Yes.
mic.
Show them the microphone.
There you go. We get masks now.
Yeah.
We're not right now.
I don't have enough trip pants. No, ninja pants, sorry. We've completely redecked our lighting, fog show, uniforms, everything.
Sunburst.
Yeah.
Keyboardist.
We've put a lot of effort into we want to treat it like a stage, like a theater show, effectively. We want to make sure that, it's one thing to go and play the songs, and that's awesome. Like when you play them well and it's great, everyone has a good time. It's a different thing entirely, I think, from the bands I really enjoy and shows I go to. It's a very different experience when you can have people go home and go, wow, that was really something. That's what we're trying to do. It's not just trying to play a gig. It's trying to leave people with a lasting memory and making it an event and not just a gig. Things have to go into that aren't just the music. So a lot of our stuff is again, all of our lights and everything are timed to our backing tracks and clicks and all that sort of thing. Everything's set up a certain way. All the, it's one of those things where the show is as important as the music.
And to be clear, Chris built all of our lighting as well. Assembled it.
We don't talk about it. It takes years, my boy.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, it's been some time invested to make sure.
And you programmed it all. Yeah. So
hybrid effort.
Yeah, well, everyone in the band is employed within the band.
Yeah.
With that. Now, just say someone inexplicably has just come along to see the show because they want to see Carmeria and they don't know anything about you guys. What 3 songs of yours should they listen to get them in the mood?
I think Kings, We Were Kings, the opener of the new album. Definitely, that just is a well-rounded song and gives them a bit of everything.
Campbell?
Yeah, name one, Campbell.
I like In Kind.
Yeah, okay.
As a fan.
Yeah.
And surely
Emberglow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say what. If you listen, I would say probably if you listen to Stuffer and Emberglow, those 2 tracks, and neither of them does it for you, love you, good luck. It's we go from bubble gum happy catchy moments all the way down to just guttural death metal. So I think the biggest compliment and comment that we get is always oh wow, you guys sort of have a bit of everything. And it's that's awesome because it's not intentional. We just like lots of different music and metal. So when someone comes to our show who's not into that kind of music, so to speak, and then leaves just being fuck, those 2 songs were whatever, then I'm well, that's awesome. We did our job. So I would say, yeah, Kings, Suffer, Emberglow.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's a breadth of the classical Orpheus stuff, the heavy Orpheus stuff, and the modern, more catchy stuff. There's a bit of everything.
Right. Now, before I let you go, guys, I've started a new segment called Photo Bomb, which basically means before I speak to you, I troll your social media and come up with the wickedest photos I can. And then I ask you to explain them to me. So
it's going to be faster than all of us.
I want to know, how close to the money shot was that?
That was just as the LSD kick.
I think I popped a string or something. Definitely not on my bass. And something went twang and Leon went, oh.
Leon's known as the Face King. And we're very tempted to release a calendar at some point.
This one is my mate.
Dude, I
It's
still want to
mate.
get that done. I really still want to get that done. Office work stuff.
Great idea.
Coming to the end of the year, let's do it for Christmas.
What else have you got for us?
I got this one, which appears to be in that room you're at now, but basically, like, you guys play on massive stages all over the place. So it's not like coming back to a small rehearsal room like that and being confined when you have to practice and shit.
It's
This is lovely.
It feels like just hanging out as mates. Like it's intimate.
It also helps that this is the backyard of Matt and Chris's mum's house.
Yep.
So we also get to, hang out with the family and grab a cup of tea. And it's not like going to like a rehearsal space where you got to lug everything there every time. It's cozy. We rock up, we turn everything on, we play, we hang out, we drink tea, we go home.
Yeah.
We get haircuts.
It's a very
It's
it's a very familial.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of coming home from school with your mates and just like jamming in your living room, jamming in your bedroom. That's sort of where we all started by cutting our teeth by playing in our bedrooms. It's it has that same cozy feel.
And we still don't have an Xbox in here.
Unbelievable. That's the only way we
I've got
get
about 20 Xboxes spread all around Brisbane, mate. You can have any of them you want.
Love it.
Rightio, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. The tour kicks off on November 16th. Make sure you let us know when you come back to Brisbane next, guys. It'd be good to catch up and have a
with you, brother.
We
Definitely.
look forward to coming back to Brisbane when we get to.
I know,